The air in the hospital room was thick, a suffocating blend of disinfectant and the sweet, almost cloying aroma of jasmine tea that Shen Pianran prepared every day. She watched her mother, whose thin, pale skin seemed stretched over fragile bones, a map of blue veins visible under the cold light. The machine beside the bed emitted a rhythmic beep, a constant sound marking the tenuous border between life and absence. Surgery was the only hope, but the cost, an astronomical figure, hung over Pianran like a death sentence. Despair and the proposition. Pianran sat on a hard plastic chair, her head resting against the cold wall, feeling the weight of a world that seemed to be collapsing onto her young shoulders. At 20, she should have been dreaming of college or her first job, but instead, she was trapped in the brutal reality of illness. With every shallow breath her mother took, the fear deepened. The money she earned from odd jobs barely covered basic medications. The surgery was an unattainable luxury. She remembered the sleepless nights, reviewing cost spreadsheets, feeling helplessness corrode her soul. Her mother's life, the only family she had left, was being auctioned off by fate, and she had no bids to offer. T was into this abyss of contained despair that old master he appeared, an imposing old-fashioned figure wrapped in an impeccably tailored wool coat. He showed no emotion, only the calculating coldness of a man who negotiates lives. His gaze, as it swept over the modest room, was one of barely disguised disdain, as if he were stepping into a place unworthy of his presence. "Little girl," he said, his voice deep and dry, echoing in the silence of the room. "Here is $1,000,000. You can use it to save your mother." The check, placed on the bedside table, looked like an unreal piece of paper, a portal to salvation. Pianran felt the ground waver. $1,000,000. The price of a future, the price of a soul. She reached out, hesitant, and her fingers brushed the paper. The texture was rough, but the promise it held was soft and tempting. The moral dilemma was a faint whisper against the silent scream of her mother's need. "What do I need to do?" The question left her lips with desperate urgency, but her voice was controlled, almost inaudible. She couldn't afford to cry or beg, she needed to be practical. Old master, he assessed her from head to toe, a look that stripped her of any intrinsic value, reducing her to a mere chess piece. "The seer said your birth date brings luck to Yen. We need you to bring him luck. You will marry my grandson and fulfill your role. That is all." He paused dramatically, his eyes fixed on hers. "You will be a talisman, Shen Pianran. And talismans must be pure and obedient." Pianran closed her eyes, inhaling the scent of jasmine. It was a sacrifice, the sale of her freedom and her honor. But the image of her mother, fighting for every breath, was an imperative that crushed any moral objection. She thought of her mother, of the promise that everything would be all right. "It's settled," she replied, the final word sealing her fate. "I promise." The farce and the betrayal. The He mansion was a labyrinth of luxury and silence, a place where wealth seemed to have frozen time and emotion. He Yen, the grandson, was the personification of this environment, tall, broad-shouldered, but with a gaze that seemed lost in some inner landscape. His amnesia, the result of a mysterious accident, made him a stranger in his own life, and Pianran, his contract bride, was just another imposed piece in his daily routine. He treated her with a polished indifference, a courtesy that hurt more than hostility. The wedding ceremony was a phantom event, without guests, without joy. Pianran wore a borrowed wedding dress, feeling like an imposter. She tried to convince herself that she was doing the right thing, that the sacrifice would be worth it. The marriage farce, however, was brutally interrupted. Just a few days after the union, the door to Pianran's room was burst open by a fury dressed in silk. Lin Shanshan, a distant cousin who had long coveted the position of Mrs. He. Shanshan was a slender, venomous figure, and she saw Pianran as a usurper. "Humph, you're a liar, Shen Pianran," Shanshan hissed, her eyes flashing. "All this just to marry brother Yen. You even hid the fact that you were no longer pure." Shanshan's attack hit Pianran at her most vulnerable point. The night of her impurity was a trauma she tried to bury, a hazy event where pain and confusion mingled. She had been drugged, the victim of a sordid trap, and now the distorted truth was being used against her. Yen, drawn by the noise, stopped at the door. His eyes, which rarely showed anything beyond boredom, now reflected a cutting doubt. "Pianran?" he asked, his voice low and dangerous, like the prelude to a storm. "Is it true?" Panic choked her. She tried to defend herself, the words stumbling over each other. "Grandpa, I was drugged that day. I don't remember what happened." But the truth was irrelevant to Old Master He, who appeared right behind Yen. For him, the family's honor was everything, and Pianran's failure to be the perfect talisman was unforgivable. "My He family does not accept impure women," the patriarch sentenced, the disappointment in his voice heavier than any condemnation. "You leave." Pianran was expelled from the He mansion, the $1 million check torn up in front of her. Lin Shanshan, with a cruel smile, intercepted her at the gate. "Don't scream. Grandpa, he won't hear you. I am He Yan's bride. You're dreaming if you think you can steal this position." The humiliation was an overwhelming burden, but the desperation for her mother drove her. She ran back to the hospital, pleading with Old Master He, who had followed her to ensure her departure. "Grandpa He, I really didn't mean to deceive you, please, save my mother." But Old Master He had already turned his back. The million had been promised, but the payment was conditioned on the talisman's success. No marriage, no luck, no money. That night, Shen Pianran fled. Not just the He mansion, but the entire city. She took with her only the clothes on her back, the pain of betrayal, and a truth that consumed her: she was pregnant. 6 years passed, and Shen Pianran had transformed into Shen Ran, a woman forged in pain and necessity. She had built a safe haven in a distant city, far from the He family's grasp. Her triplets, Debao, the silent strategist, Erbao, the sensitive artist, whom they affectionately called Mumu, and Yen Yen, the sweet and protective one, were her universe, the reason for her struggle. They were the living proof that the despair of one night could generate the purest of joys. Pianran worked tirelessly, balancing single motherhood with the search for stability. The past, however, was a shadow she knew would one day catch up to her. And the past took the form of a man she tried to forget on a busy afternoon. While trying to balance grocery bags in Yen Yen's hand, she saw him. He Yen. He was in a hurried business meeting, the same aura of power, the same distant gaze. "Mommy finally found you," a childish voice whispered. Pianran turned and saw Debao and Erbao, the two boys identical to her in childhood, standing before He Yen. Her heart skipped a beat. "Do we know each other?" Debao asked, his voice surprisingly matured. Yen frowned, confused. "But this is the first time we've met. How are you sure I'm your mommy?" He Yan's confusion was genuine. He didn't recognize her. Amnesia had protected him from the pain, but it had also stolen the truth from him. "Mommy, you're just like in our dreams," Erbao replied, his eyes shining with a sincerity that disarmed Pianran. She hugged them, the panic mixed with the joy of the reunion. "Are they really my triplets? But this is the first time we've met. How are you sure I'm your mommy?" Debao, the most practical, explained. "It's because we dreamed you were being mistreated, so we sent someone to find you." Her children's determination filled her with renewed courage. They were no longer helpless babies. They were her protectors. "Mommy, don't worry. My brothers and I are no longer 3-year-old children. We can protect you." Pianran smiled. The first time in years she felt real hope. "Thank you, darlings." But the children's innocence soon confronted her with the reality of her past. "Mommy, who hurt you? Tell me, I'll teach him a lesson. Mommy, let's go find Daddy together, okay?" The question hit her like lightning. The daddy was He Yen, the man who had expelled her, the man who was now standing there, a few feet away, unaware that he was the father of her children. The orchestrated reunion, the reunion with He Yen, was orchestrated by the children themselves, an audacious and childish plan. Debao, using his hacking skills, broke into his father's schedule and showed up at a business meeting. "He's Daddy," the three said in unison, invading the meeting room. Yen, caught by surprise, stared at the 3 mini clones of himself. "Who are you?" he asked Debao. "Daddy, I'm your eldest son." The partnership with the Yunzhou Group is my gift to you. Do you like it? The child's audacity was disconcerting. He Yen, a man accustomed to control, was completely lost. What did you call me? De Bayo, undeterred, threw an envelope onto the table. Paternity test. Where is your mother now? The result was undeniable. The three were his children. He Yan's amnesia could not erase the biological truth. Daddy, you'll know tonight. It's a special party for your mother. Don't miss it. The party was a gala dinner, a recognition event that Lin Shanshan had organized for herself, hoping to consolidate her position as the future Mrs. He. She didn't expect the arrival of Shen Pianran, now dressed with a discreet but impactful elegance. Hey Shen Pianran, what are you doing here? Shanshan approached her with disdain. A pathetic delivery person like you has no place here. Pianran ignored her, but Shanshan insisted, envy consuming her. Look at you, all dressed up. I bet you snagged some rich old man, didn't you? Pianran stopped, her patience exhausted. I'm warning you, watch your words. Shanshan, feeling protected by her proximity to He Yen, advanced. You had the nerve to hit me. Do you think I'm scared? Didn't you know I'm going to marry young He and become Mrs. He? When that happens, crushing you will be like crushing an ant. Pianran's smile was cold. Why are you laughing? Do you know who this party was organized for? The announcement followed, a mercy blow to Shanshan. Let's applaud the star of the night, Miss Shen. It wasn't Lin Shanshan. It was Shen Pianran. Her entrance was triumphant, marked by gifts from three mysterious figures: the president of the Yunzhou Group, the top designer Anran, and the global hacker leader, Black Rainbow. Gifts that, in reality, were orchestrated by her own children, using their skills to protect their mother. Shanshan, humiliated, tried to cling to He Yen, who had just arrived. Hmfian, you finally arrived. Look, this despicable woman mistreated me. He Yen, however, was focused on Pianran. Amnesia prevented him from remembering, but the attraction was undeniable. Miss Lin, please show some respect, he said, his voice tense. Shanshan, desperate, tried to revive his memory. Do you know me? That incident at the cottage. Don't you remember? I was the one who saved you back then. Shanshan's lie was the last piece of He Yan's puzzle. He had investigated the past and discovered the truth. What did you call me? Ian. Do you remember that night at the hotel? Shanshan, believing he was remembering her, smiled. Are you saying you were the person at the hotel that night? Yes. He Yen stared at her with glacial contempt. It's the Zhang family, right? Guys, take this person away. The truth was that the person who had saved him was not Shanshan, but Pianran. And the night at the hotel, the night that resulted in their triplets, was the key to the past. What are you doing? Pianran asked, confused by his attitude. The embrace was a silent apology, a promise of redemption. I will take responsibility, he whispered. Protect you and the children. Shen Pianran's return was not just a personal triumph, but the beginning of a cold and calculated revenge. The Lin family, who had allied with Shanshan, would be the first to fall. It's getting cold, He Yen said, looking at the Lin family. It's time for the Lin family to go bankrupt. The revenge of Pianran was complete, but fate had other plans. The conspiracy of Shen Feng and Lin Shanshan reached its climax in an act of desperation. While Pianran and He Yen were in a moment of tenderness, Shen Feng, blinded by rage, tried to run over Pianran. He Yen, in an act of love and sacrifice, pushed her out of the way, being hit in her place. Shen Pianran, you are a terrible woman. Die. The hospital was a stage of pain and uncertainty. He Yen was between life and death, needing a transfusion of Rh-negative blood, a rare blood type. The patient is experiencing intense bleeding and now needs a large amount of rare blood, Rh-negative blood. Pianran, without hesitation, offered herself. I am Rh negative. You have a rare blood type, Rh negative. Come with me. Pianran's sacrifice was the proof of her love and her motherhood. She was not just Yan's wife, but the mother of his children, the woman who would give her life for him. Yan's mother, who had been manipulated by Lin Shanshan, finally realized the truth. Are they really Yan's children? When Yan wakes up, you can ask him personally. The truth would soon appear. Yan woke up, his amnesia cured by trauma and love. He remembered everything: the night at the hotel, Pianran's sacrifice, Shanshan's betrayal. Yan, Pianran whispered, tears streaming down her face. I didn't do it on purpose. Yan hugged her, his voice hoarse with emotion. I know. I'm glad you're okay. The He family was reunited, Yan's mother asking Pianran for forgiveness. It's not your fault, Auntie. The one who should apologize is the one who caused the confusion. Lin Shanshan and Shen Feng were arrested, paying for their crimes. The Lin family was in ruins, and the Shen Corporation was in Pianran's hands. The ending was a marriage proposal, orchestrated by the triplets. DeBeo, the strategist, had bought a diamond ring, the Ocean of the Heart, for his mother. Is this a marriage proposal? I accept. The ring was the proof of Yan's love and the union of their family. They had overcome pain, betrayal, and conspiracy. I will take responsibility, Yan said, kissing Pianran. Protect you and the children. Life was a promise of happiness, an ocean of love that united them forever.